I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. These words, spoken by Nelson Mandela, encapsulate the life of a man who became the global emblem of resilience, justice, and reconciliation. His story is not just one of personal triumph, but a testament to the power of collective struggle and the unyielding belief in humanity's capacity to construct a new reality. Mandela's journey began in 1918 in the rural village of Mbizo, South Africa, born into the Thembu royal family. He grew up witnessing the entrenched racial hierarchies of his country, a system that would later evolve into apartheid, a regime of institutionalized racism that denied black South Africans basic rights, dignity, and freedom. By 1948, apartheid laws formalized segregation, whites-only jobs, forced removals from ancestral lands, and passbooks that controlled where black citizens could live and work. It was a system designed to dehumanize, but Mandela refused to accept it. As a young lawyer in Johannesburg, Mandela joined the African National Congress, ANC, a political party fighting for equality. Initially committed to nonviolent resistance, he organized strikes and protests, but when peaceful efforts were met with violence in the state, he co-founded the ANC's armed wing, Umkhonto we Sizwe, Spear of the Nation, to sabotage government infrastructure. His defiance led to the 1963 Rivonia Trial, where he faced the death penalty. Instead of pleading for mercy, Mandela delivered a speech that echoed across the world and changed his reality. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society. It is an ideal for which I am prepared to die. He was sentenced to life in prison. For 27 years, Mandela languished in Robben Island's bleak prison, breaking rocks in a limestone quarry by day and sleeping on a thin mat in a tiny cell by night. Yet even there, his spirit remained unbroken. He became a symbol of resistance, his name whispered in townships and chanted at global rallies. The world rallied behind him, demanding his release and an end to apartheid. In 1990, under immense international pressure, South Africa's President Frederick de Klerk freed Mandela. What followed was perhaps Mandela's most extraordinary act. Instead of seeking vengeance, he championed reconciliation. As South Africa's first black president in 1994, he established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, offering amnesty to those who confessed to apartheid-era crimes. It was a radical approach to healing a fractured nation, rooted in the belief that resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. Mandela's presidency laid the foundation for a multiracial democracy, but his legacy extends far beyond politics. He taught the world that justice and forgiveness are not opposites. They are partners in building a better future. After retiring from office, he campaigned against HIV/AIDS, advocated for peace in global conflicts, and championed education, famously saying, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." Today, Mandela's ideals resonate in the ongoing fight for racial and economic justice throughout the world. His life reminds us that progress is not linear, nor is it easy. It requires courage to confront injustice, patience to endure setbacks, and humility to forgive. As he once wrote, "It always seems impossible until it is done." Nelson Mandela died in 2013, but his message endures. He showed that even in the darkest moments, hope can prevail, that one person's determination to stand for equality can ignite a fire that lights the way for millions. His story is a call to action, to confront fear, to bridge divides, and to believe, as he did, that a nation should not be judged by how it treats its highest citizens, but its lowest. In a world still grappling with inequality, Mandela's legacy is not just a chapter in history books. It is a blueprint for what we can become, a new reality we can build. As he once said, "For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others." That is a challenge he left us, and it is one we must meet together. Subscribe and welcome to the Empire.